How's it been doing these meetings through Zoom?
A little bit weird.
Yes, it's kind of been difficult, but we're just managing and doing our best to provide to our members like with all the information and the same opportunities we would as we would provide them in an in-person environment.
Okay.
So
Nice. You guys have a virtual career fair coming up too, right?
yes.
Nice.
I think it's next week if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think I saw an email because since I'm a student now, I get those emails and I'm like, okay, seems like a cool event.
Yes.
Julian, can you start admitting whoever you want?
Sure. Arissa's in the waiting room.
I already let her in. Hello, everyone. Just a reminder that once you join the meeting, please put your microphones on mute. If at any point you have any questions, ask in the chat box, and one of our directors will get back to you. Again, just a quick reminder, once you join the meeting, please put yourself on mute. And like I said before, if you have any questions, just ask in the chat. Okay, we'll begin the meeting soon.
Jorge.
Okay, now we're gonna get started with the general meeting. So welcome back, Alpha Familia, to our third general meeting for the semester. We hope that you all had a great week so far since we last saw each other. And best of luck to all of you that have midterms soon. And I hope you guys did, if you did have a midterm, I hope you all did well. On a different note, before we start the general meeting, please make sure to sign in by scanning the QR code or by clicking the link on the chat box, and that will take you straight to our link tree. And once you do get to the link tree, it will be the first tab. And yes, just sign in. I'll give you a couple seconds and then we will start with our announcements. Yes, so like I mentioned before we get into the announcements, just please put yourself on mute. Without further ado, I'm going to pass it on to George.
Good afternoon, everybody. Is that me?
Yes, it is you.
It kind of appears that there's two of you in the Zoom meeting.
Let me mute one of them.
Yeah.
Okay, there. Unmute yourself, and the other one should be muted.
Okay, perfect.
I could take it if you would like. Okay, So, hey guys, I just wanted to remind everybody that we have our first social, the Fiesta Hispana social, this upcoming Friday at 6 p.m. Hope to see you all there. Our memberships due for this semester would be 0 for our basic and 30 for our premium. This is the first semester that we do membership for free.
Hi everyone, this is Nayeli, Finance Director, and I am happy to announce our second fundraiser event. This time will be a webinar, and basically in this webinar, we'll be having a guest speaker. She has about 8 years experience in Big Four companies, in this case is PwC, and basically she will be sharing her experience as a Latino CPA, and how does it look a busy season at Big Four, right? So I encourage you guys to attend to this event because you will be getting an opportunity to win a gift card, you know, showing there, asking some questions, and most important, knowledge about this topic, which is busy season, accounting, and Big Four. And you will get also network opportunities. And the entrance price will be $5. We're still 2 weeks away from the event, so save the date for Monday, October 5 at 6 p.m. Further details will be posted on social media, and if you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to ask me or any of our directors. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is just a quick reminder to get involved through the Gold Performance Standard GPS program. Ways that you can become more involved in Alpha is to attend our general meetings regularly, such as this one, do the resume review, which you can bring your resume to either me or another director. It doesn't have to be completed yet, but it's just more of a general review so you can see where you are at. Do your elevator speech. So I highly recommend that you pay attention to this particular presentation, attend virtual networking events, which we'll have later on this semester, and do either a real interview, such as through a chair application, or a mock interview with either one of the directors. If you have any other questions, you can come to me. I also want to announce another reminder for the ALMA program. This is our in-chapter mentorship program. We are in search of first-year and second-year members for mentee positions. And I just want to make it a little clear that if you are chosen, you can be either put up with a third-year or a fourth-year member for Alpha through ALMA, so you can build upon your resume, networking opportunities, rehearse your elevator speech, and do a mock job interview as well. So this and the GPS program can go hand in hand. There's also a scholarship announcement. This is titled the British American Foundation of Texas Undergraduate Scholarship. You do not have to be of British nationality in order to be qualified for this scholarship. You do, of course, have to be a certain major, such as science, technology, engineering, math, or business. So a lot of us here do qualify for that, have a certain GPA of 3.25 or above, and be full-time enrolled within the Texas education system. If you have any other questions, you can come towards me and you can find the link. Thank you.
As you all may know, we are partnered up with the food bank in order to raise money for those people who have lost their jobs or can't afford to pay for food for their families and provide for them. So if you would like to donate, please donate here and scan the scan, or you could also donate through the link that I will post in a bit. Thank you.
Hi guys, good afternoon. Just a quick reminder for those who registered for the Fall Virtual Symposium, don't forget the event will take place October 1st to October 3rd. It's gonna be only 3 days, like 2 to 3 hours per day. If you have any questions, just feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.
And hello, everybody. For our next general meeting, we'll be having RSM, which is one of the top 10 accounting firms in the entire world. They will be doing a workshop on the do's and don'ts for an interview for both before, during, and after the interview. And just to give a little kind of a setup here, the way that we're trying to do these workshops is kind of the same way that you will go about a career fair, right? So before the career fair, you have to register, and to register, you have to resume, which is our first meeting done. And then when you actually go to the career fair, you have to talk to these recruiters. Typically, it's about 5 minutes to 10 minutes. And the most important thing about that is landing that first 40 seconds, your introduction, your pitch, right? Which is why we're having it today. And then our next meeting will be the interview workshop, right? Because after these career fairs, maybe even during the career fair, you'll have the opportunity to interview with said company. And that's why we're doing resume, elevator pitch, and now the interview. Again, this will be next Tuesday, September 29th, same time as today. Thank you.
If you all have any questions about anything that we went through, that we discussed, please don't hesitate to ask in the chat. Now, without further ado, please help me welcome Jesus Vasquez and Jose Fuentes from Altria, as they will be conducting our elevator pitch workshop.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for giving us the opportunity to join y'all today and talk a little bit about elevator pitch. My name is Jose Fuentes Jr. It's actually really awesome to hear my name said with an accent, so thank you for that. That actually brightened my day. So I've been with Altria going on, I'm lying, I've been here 13 years. First and only job out of college. First and only company I've worked for out of college. So I actually went to UT Pan Am. Now I know it's better and upgraded to TRGV. But right when I finished my undergrad in marketing, I got a job with Altria. I was in the Valley for 8 years as a territory sales manager at the company. And then I moved to Miami on a promotion. Went out there, led a team, got my master's at the University of Miami. And then also got a new position where I'm in talent acquisition, and I get to talk to very talented individuals every day. Like, that is what I get to do for a living. It's pretty cool. So hopefully I get to, Jesus and I get to bring a little bit more to the table today, and I'll pass it over to Jesus so that he can introduce himself as well.
Yeah, my name is Jesus Vasquez. I've been with the company for 9 years. Was my second job out of college. I'm a territory sales manager here out of Edinburgh, Texas. Actually, like I said earlier, I'm going for my master's here at UTRGV, which should be complete in April. And looking forward to talking to you guys as well.
All right, so let me share my screen real quick. And let's see if I can share the, looks like I can't share the presentation. Awesome. Hold on, let's try this real quick. Maybe it'll let me share the screen, share that. Share screen. Entire screen, application window. There it is, got it, we're good. It's just taking a little bit. All right, I'm gonna go in presentation mode. Tell me if you can see that. Did it work? Is it in presentation mode? Obviously the date's wrong, but
Yes.
Can y'all see that?
Yep.
Yes.
Cool. All right, so story of I, basically elevator pitch. That's what we're gonna talk about today. Reason we're calling it the story of I is because that's what we need you to do, is say the words I. We need you to be able to talk about yourself. So in the overview, we'll talk a little bit about, like, well, why are we really going to get into this? We'll discuss a little bit about what's getting in the way. Then we have a simple model that you can follow so that you're able to talk about yourself. And then we'll maybe get into some practice. Maybe some of you will step up and give us your elevator pitch. If not, it's okay. We can take my elevator pitch and we can critique it, make it better. I'll take all the feedback I can get. We won't do any interview answer practice since you're going to be doing that in another session. We'll answer any questions that you have and then talk a little bit about Altria so that you're more familiar with the company and also to show you what we have to offer. Sound good? All right, so what is this about? Why are we talking about this? Obviously, you keep hearing, hey, you got 40 seconds with someone, maybe 30, when you're talking to a recruiter or prospective employer. When it comes to the elevator pitch, talking about yourself, it's really about highlighting your uniqueness. There is one you. Only you have lived your experiences, and you got to be able to share those, right? If you're trying to secure the job, trying to land that internship or full-time role, as recruiters, we need to know what makes you you. On top of that, you need to be able to demonstrate your capability. When it comes to landing a role, me as a recruiter, I need to know what your skills are. When you can highlight that in 30 seconds, it's a great way for me as a recruiter to say, all right, we need to talk some more. Let's set up some time, right? In terms of effectively communicating, you heard it multiple times. You got 30 seconds maybe to shine, to highlight your experiences, demonstrate your uniqueness. And the goal is for you to be able to really set something up for the future, right? Maybe I'm going to stop what I'm doing because in those 30 seconds, you made me want to talk to you more. Or maybe we set something up for a later date and say, hey, you know what? I'd really like to continue talking to you. How about tomorrow we set up some time at 3 o'clock, right? And those 30 seconds that you put in and able to demonstrate your uniqueness and your capability led you to a bigger meeting, right? So where you could talk for longer than 30 seconds. So when are you going to use this? You're going to use this in career fairs, right? You're going to be doing virtual career fairs and symposiums. And in this virtual format, you're going to have limited time. If you account for tech issues, some of these events are going to be in the same, call it Zoom room with maybe 3 other students that are looking for interns or 3 other soon-to-be graduates that are looking for full-time roles. So you're going to be using it then. In interviews, it's the same thing, although we won't go into interviews today. But talking about yourself is what we need to hear as recruiters and people sitting on interviews. If we're conducting an interview, I want to hear what you did. Networking events, even if you're not looking for a full-time role, if you're not looking for an internship, when you go to networking events, you never know who you're going to meet. You could be having appetizers with maybe your next employer and you don't even know it. But being able to demonstrate who you are and what your skills are, that person will remember you. And when there's an opening for something, maybe they'll reach back out. And in terms of today, like I said, we'll open it up, see if anyone wants to practice. It's a safe space. Let's have fun, right? We'll keep it casual. If you have questions, just jump in. It's okay. You don't have to wait till the very end. Also, Jesus is checking the chat too. So if you got questions, you can type something in there and he'll stop me. So let's talk about like what's getting in the way of talking about yourself. It's definitely awkward, right? You think about, I am almost 40, and when I have to talk about myself, it's still a little strange. It's like, where do I even start? I don't know. My name is Junior. I like Mexican music and reggaeton. I work for a Fortune 200 company. Like, it's not easy, especially when it's like you're put on the spot. And that's the thing is, like, a lot of the times when you're asked, like, hey, tell me a little bit about yourself, you're going to have the opportunity to prepare, especially in the environment you're in right now. You know there's symposiums coming up. You know there's career fairs coming up. You know there's networking events. So prepare for it. When you prepare for it, it becomes less awkward. The other thing, too, is our cultural values, right? As Latinos, we're taught to stay humble. So talking about your accomplishments and your skills, it's a little difficult because I know if I was around my family and they heard me introducing myself to a prospective employer, they'd be like, like, muy creído, like, you know, they'd really make fun of me and be like, oh, you know, you're stuck up. And that's just our community, right? It's the way it is. But in corporate America, we have to get over that. So being able to recognize that at least And knowing that, hey, this is different. This is me trying to land a job. This is me trying to get an internship. Should help you overcome that obstacle. And again, with the perception in our community of staying humble and not putting yourself out there above others, recognize that, we know that, but in the corporate landscape, you need to be able to talk about yourself. In terms of building the community, again, going back to our other two, right, staying humble and the perception of maybe elevating yourself above others. If you can secure the job, you can get that internship, that will open the doors for others. That will allow you to continue to build the community, bring others with you. So recognize your cultural values. We know some of those things potentially put hurdles from us being able to talk about ourselves, but we got to get over it. Get over it, go get that job, and everyone benefits from it, okay? So the I model. This is intended to help you begin to structure how to talk about yourself, right? So I'm gonna lay these out real quick. And in terms of your elevator pitch, right, we're gonna focus on those first two. So was the story focused on you? So when you talk about yourself, it needs to be that. You need to say your experiences. You need to talk about your experiences. Don't say, you know, we did this or we did that, because then I'm not sure what's going on with the story. I don't know if you're talking about you or you're talking about potentially your, you know, your friends or the people you grew up with or your classmates. Like, the story needs to be focused on you when you do your elevator pitch. I am this, I am that, I did this, right? In terms of communicating your uniqueness, skill, or capability, that needs to be in your elevator pitch, okay? So if you have certain certifications, talk about it, right? If you've had some sort of accomplishment from a project that you worked on, talk about it. If you serve on the e-board of Alpha UTRGV, talk about it. Think about the leadership experiences that you have. Think about your accomplishments, any certifications, the things that make you you. Talk about those, okay? The third point you use in interviews, again, we'll ignore that for now. If you want to talk about it some more or deeper, or if you have an interview coming up and you want some advice, this is and I will be more than happy to help you with that stuff. But for the purpose of today, we're going to focus on the first two. So was the story focused on you? And did you communicate your uniqueness, skill, or capability? All right. And a simple way to include that into the actual, like, hey, what is an elevator pitch, right? In an elevator pitch, you want to talk about who are you, an introduction of, you know, who you are professionally, some of your highlights, some of your achievements, 2 to 4 points that make you stand out. Potentially why you want the job, right? You don't always have to use that, but it doesn't hurt. And being concise and positive. So again, concise, maybe sometimes less than that. But if you can connect all these things and have it structured, it'll serve you well. You're going to get a return on investment. It might take you a month, a week, I don't know, multiple days to just lock down a scripted elevator pitch, and that's okay. I know some of you are like, oh, should it be scripted? I already know it's already going through your head, right? So it doesn't have to be scripted. Don't have to have it memorized word for word. I don't know if scripted is a term, but rehearse, definitely. You want to be able to feel confident when you're talking, right? And maybe that's something that's missing on here, is being confident. And confident meaning just comfortable with telling your experiences, highlighting your accomplishments, and having those points that make you you, that make you stand out, that make you unique. So a couple things that you don't want to do is don't spit out your resume, right? I'm going to see it. I might even invite you, hey, I'd like you to apply, or do you have a resume? So don't tell me your resume. Being too modest, we talked about that a little while ago, right? In our cultural values, like, we're kind of brought up not bragging. In this sense, it's okay. Like, talk about the things you've done. Talk about your accomplishments. in terms of it not being a first date, just again, back to the awkwardness, like there's an objective here of you landing the role, getting an opportunity to explore more about the position itself or the company. Rambling, again, it's easy to just kind of like, when you're not rehearsed and you don't have your information down tight, you kind of start stumbling. You start like not necessarily making stuff up, but you might be repeating yourself or not explaining some of the points that make you stand out. All right. So does anyone have a volunteer? Does anyone have an elevator pitch? Anyone want to showcase their elevator pitch?
Yeah, for me too. We're right here.
All right. Yeah.
Okay.
If you want to share, go for it.
Okay. So my name is Julian Gallegos. I'm currently a junior at the University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley, who's pursuing a degree in accountancy. And this past year, I actually had the privilege to serve as our finance director for my local Alpha chapter. And this position gave me both confidence and experience to land 2 offers, one with Becker as a campus ambassador, and the other as an intern at a local CPA firm. And currently I am now the vice president, which, I did get promoted. And now I'm looking for any roles, finance roles within Altrio.
That was incredible. First of all, you sounded very confident. But before I give you any feedback, right, if there's any, let's open it up to our colleagues that are on the call, right? So let's use these 2 pieces of iModel. Remember we said, hey, these 2 will help us really talk about ourselves. So if anyone wants to chime in, what was your name again, Julian? Did I get that right?
Yes.
Okay, so for everyone that's on the call, when you listen to Julian's elevator pitch, was the story focused on him?
Yes.
All right. Any specific examples anyone wants to point out? So if we can like hear the examples, I think that'll help us really like, okay, yep, this is what that means.
He mentioned like what he was pursuing in a degree and the experience he's had. So like his job experience, his leadership positions in Alpha, and etc.
Yeah, so you said the keyword I, right? I am this, I am pursuing that. I currently serve as this. I've had the opportunity to do this. So that's the important piece is that keyword I. We as Latinos like to say we a lot. Again, we're very community focused. So, he could have easily started talking about Alpha and our organization does this and we serve this and we help people by doing this and our goals are this. And he didn't do that. He didn't bring in the we piece of the conversation. He completely kept on track with this is who I am. What about communicating his uniqueness, skill, or capability? Anything that stood out in his elevator speech?
The internships that he had.
Mm-hmm.
Or,
Anything else?
Yeah, I
And I
think
even think the leadership positions in Alpha. I'm sorry, Nayeli, for chiming in.
Go ahead. Oh yeah, well, yeah, I was about to say that when he mentioned that he got leadership and all those skills because of Alpha, that's when I could see that that's like unique for him.
Yep, definitely, right? So he led off with what he's studying, right? So talking about his potential skills or capabilities, talked about his leadership role, again, going back to uniqueness and skill. And then at the very end, he kind of tied it together, right? And said, hey, I just told you a little bit about my, my skill, and I'm looking for a job in a related field. So very nice job. That was actually probably one of the best elevator speeches I've had when someone volunteered. So Amazing. You've obviously practiced that or have worked on it. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Julian, unless you like freestyle that like Lil Wayne, then awesome. Like I don't have that skill, but you've been working on it, right?
Yes, sir. I mean, during the national, I signed up for like 20 companies. So I had a lot of time to practice.
Yep. And that's the key. Like, I know it's awkward kind of just standing there and writing something out, but that's what you got to do. You need to spend some time and think about like, who am I? What's my uniqueness? What are my capabilities? Like, what do I want people to know in 30 seconds? And rehearse it, right? Again, I think there's a difference between having it scripted and having it rehearsed. When you rehearse it, you get comfortable with telling that story. So very nice job. So let's evaluate my elevator pitch, right? So I've got a couple examples here. And feel comfortable like being brutally honest. Like if you think my elevator pitch is like just terrible and lacking, like you can say that, like that's perfectly fine. My feelings won't get hurt. It's really about learning, right? That's why we're here. Safe space. So I have a couple examples. Start with the first one. So my name is Jose Fuentes Jr. I went to school at UTRGV and did my MBA at the University of Miami. So I work for Altria Group, which is a premier CPG company and a Fortune 200 company. So I've been with the company 11 years, started out in sales in South Texas, and then was promoted to a management role, which led me to move to Miami. So most recently, I became a corporate recruiter. I love traveling and live music. So using that I model, right? And by the way, I probably should have told y'all can screenshot this or take a picture of it if you want. I believe y'all are recording the session, which is perfectly fine. But that way, for the purposes of evaluating my elevator pitch, y'all can use this. So in terms of this, so was the story focused on me?
Yes.
Got a yes? Was that like a strong, like, yes, you did well, or like, it could be better?
Second.
Could be a little more detailed.
Okay, that's fair. Could be a little bit more detailed. What else? And you can pop off on both, right? So was the story focused on me? And then also, did I highlight my uniqueness? Did I highlight my skills, my capabilities? And like I said, be brutally honest on both of those. So popcorn, just go for it. Give me your thoughts.
For me, would be the last sentence.
The last sentence, I love traveling and live music.
I mean, you are describing who you are, but it's just like a whatever sentence. Well, at least for me, like maybe detail that more or take it off. So like it just didn't go with the flow of the rest of the
Okay,
elevator.
that's fair. Definitely. Point taken. What else?
I guess like what degree you went for at school at the UTRGV.
Right, so potentially talking about again, going back to skills and capabilities. I mean, did I really talk about any of my skills or capabilities in this?
You started off in sales and got promoted to management. I mean, that's something. That's pretty skillful.
Right. So I'm giving you a little bit. Like, yeah, I was in sales. I was in a management role. Now I'm a recruiter. Was someone going to say something?
Yeah, me. So I noticed that you didn't mention like what is it that you were looking for. So if like in comparison to Julian's example, like he closed off his elevator pitch by saying what he was interested in as far as a role. So I'm assuming that if you're talking to a recruiter, like you didn't really like there's nothing that kind of says what you're interested in.
Right. So potentially having an objective, right? So depending on who I'm talking to, if it's a recruiter, want to state an objective. Don't always have to. Maybe I'm at a networking event. Maybe I'm at a volunteer event, something like that. But definitely, again, just thinking about the audience. So now we've heard a couple things. So it sounded like it's okay. Like we'll give this a solid, maybe a 4 out of 10, maybe a 3. So let's talk about this. This is the second example. Same thing, we'll evaluate this. So, hi, my name is Jose Fuentes Jr. I'm a proud Mexican-American. I earned my bachelor's degree in marketing at UTRGV and my MBA at the University of Miami. So for the last 11 years, I've worked at Altria. I've trained and developed the capabilities of employees. I've recruited top diverse talents and leveraged my analytical capabilities to sell initiatives to retailers and wholesalers in a territory worth more than $100 million. So outside of work, I'm passionate about traveling. Travel gives me an opportunity to be in unfamiliar situations and allows me to use my resourcefulness to make the most of my adventure. So I'm also a music fanatic. I use music as an outlet for my creativity. So what about this one?
Pretty
Again,
much.
so was the story focused on me? Was the story focused on me, and did I demonstrate uniqueness, skill, capability?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much everything that we said is more detailed now. The degree, your traveling, your experience, all that.
Any specific changes y'all want to point out that made it better?
Probably the sentence that, like you mentioned, I have work in Altria where I have trained, developed, and so on.
You sounded
Yeah, so, so again, just highlighting the skills capability, right? So if I tell you, hey, I'm in sales, well, I can assume what your skills are, right? Or I was a manager, well, I can assume, but if you have the opportunity to tell someone specifically, hey, this is what I'm strong at, then do it. So I listed out, hey, I've trained and developed employees, right? I've recruited top diverse talent. I have analytical skills, right? I've managed a territory worth $100 million. So bringing in those, call it the technical skills. Earlier, I like that someone mentioned, I'm sorry, I don't remember your name, but you mentioned, hey, I love traveling, live music. Like, it's just kind of like, what? Like, okay, cool. But here, hopefully you noticed that I relayed those to soft skills, right? So I like traveling because I'm resourceful. I like being in unfamiliar situations. I'm creative. That's why I like music. So those are soft skills that are pretty difficult to teach. And in this new world where things are kind of, think about it, we're virtual. We got to figure out how to make things happen. You need people that are resourceful and creative. So think about some of the passions that you have and how you can bring that to work. And it's okay to say that you like to travel and that you like music, but be pointed with it. All right. So what I don't want y'all to do is, hey, my name is Jose and I'm a student at UTRGV. I'm studying finance and I love travel and I have an internship. And it's like, well, you probably just mentioned like 70% of the people that are on this call. So help yourself, distinguish yourself by bringing out those capabilities, your strengths, soft skills, technical skills. If you have passions, find out how to relate it back to the corporate environment, right? Everybody loves to travel, right? There might be one person on this call that doesn't like to travel, and that's cool, it's okay. But in order to distinguish yourself, think about, why do you like traveling? What is it? Is it connecting with people? Is it establishing relationships? Is it building a network? I don't know. If you like music, well, what is it about music that you like? Do you like taking things that exist and reimagining them? So just kind of going back to creativity. So all of you have passions, all of you have interests outside of the work environment that can be translated to skills in the corporate setting. So use those, right? Add it into your story. It's definitely okay. I've had people that have talked about their Instagram pages in their elevator pitch when they've talked to me. And they told me, yeah, I have like 300,000 followers on Instagram, and here's how I built that. And it's like, what? And some of those little things like will help me as a recruiter remember you. All right. So don't be afraid to bring in some of your personal accomplishments, some of your personal life, but figure out how to relate it back to the call it corporate setting. We won't practice because of time. All right, so that's elevator pitch, elevator practice. Thank you for volunteering, Julian. Thank you for all those that like jumped in and gave your perspective. So what questions do you have on the elevator pitch or connecting with a recruiter and now in this new virtual environment? Feel free to ask whatever you want. Literally, you have 2 recruiters on the phone that this is what we get to do, and we have experience. So any way that we can help you, we'll help you. And there's no dumb question. Seriously, ask anything in terms of recruiting or elevator pitch.
I do have one question. I know right now we have about 2 career fairs going to happen in October, one with Alpha and the other with our school. And my question is, how do you prepare for a career fair, virtual career fair?
Yeah, so get familiar with the platform. So what are the requirements? You need to download an app. A lot of these you don't have to. But think about, okay, well, what do I need to prepare systematically for that so I can be prepared so I don't lose connection, so that my phone isn't echoing nonstop? What are some of the best practices? Research what companies are going to be there, right? Maybe some of your dream companies are going to be there. I would begin to research, okay, well, what positions do they have? Do they have the position I'm looking for? When you're more pointed in what you're looking for with a recruiter, it will help the conversation move forward versus, hey, I'm just looking for an internship. I'll take anything right now. And it's like, okay, well, now we got to dig deeper, right? So what are you studying? What are your passions? Things like that. So know already what are those positions that they're offering and if they interest you. And if there is a company there that you want to talk to that they don't have the position you're looking for, there's nothing wrong with connecting with a recruiter and establishing that relationship for the future, okay? Your resume, I heard resume prep, do that. Seriously, if you're not taking advantage of that, shame on you. Because there is a big difference as a recruiter when I see someone who's had their resume prepared, that has had it reviewed, that has it structured so that it tells your story on paper, versus someone that just is like, I'll figure it out. I'm good to go. I'll do this, you know, a couple days before the event. Recruiters, we can see the difference, all right? And that shows us a bit about, again, preparation and just willingness to succeed. Have that ready. Your LinkedIn, that needs to be well done as well, because everything is we're all connecting virtually now, right? I'm not going to ask you to follow you on Instagram. I'm not going to reach out to you on Facebook, but I'll reach out to you on LinkedIn. So have that ready, right? Get your headshot, your banner, some of your interests on your little bio, even your URL. Make it easy for me to find you. Maybe the connection cuts out when you're talking to a recruiter, and maybe your current URL on LinkedIn is Jose Fuentes 11009925, something like that. And I only have like 100 followers, or I'm only connected with like 100 people. It's not going to be that easy for the recruiter to find me. So I'm just going to change my URL to linkedin.com/Jose Fuentes Jr. Find me. It's easy that way. Obviously with the elevator pitch, having that down, rehearsing it, get comfortable with it, structure that out, reach out to Julian so he can help you. That's the beauty of our community, is like we want everyone to succeed. So like help each other, reach out to each other, critique each other's elevator pitches. Make sure that, yep, like this is good. Now let's practice it, right? Jump on FaceTime or jump on Zoom, whatever it is. And just make sure that you're comfortable in telling your story. You're following this model. right? Make sure the story is focused on you and that you're highlighting your skills, capabilities, and uniqueness. And then have a follow-up plan. So I connected with the 3 employers that I really want to work for. Now what? Are you going to follow up on LinkedIn? Are you going to ask for time to connect with them for 30 minutes? Are you going to apply for the role? Do you have questions about the internship that you want to have? Do a little bit of research on the company too. Is there any news that you'd like to share some perspective on? Maybe there's a former intern that worked there. Find them and connect with them and ask them questions about what made them successful. That way, when you have the conversation with the recruiter in your post meeting, you can relate those skills and what made that person successful. So if that person said, hey, what made me successful there was being resourceful and being able to network, right? Those are the 2 things that really helped me. And it's like, great. So maybe if that's what made that person successful, I'll share that with the recruiter and let them know, hey, I connected with this intern, let me know that their experience was great. Here are the 2 things that made them successful, and that I can relate to that because I applied for this leadership role in my organization. It was a brand new role. I had to reach out to other organizations to kind of figure out like how to make this work since it was so new. There was no playbook. So demonstrating your resourcefulness, and then that way the recruiter can say like, yes, this would probably be a good fit. I'd like you to apply. Let's move forward in the process. So I guess long story short, have a follow-up plan. I know it was a lot. Any other questions? Sorry.
I have a question.
Yep.
So right now that everything's virtual, like I feel like in a traditional setting, it's already challenging enough as it is to try to make a connection when networking. So I just wanted to know if you had like any tips on like presentation wise or anything to like really, stand out in a virtual setting.
Standing out in the virtual setting, it's going to start with you, right? So the elevator pitch, if you're going to have call it a minute or 2 to connect with someone, having that down tight. If you can get your resume to someone and that's well put and you've had it, checked and it's ready to rock and roll, have that. But also reach out to the recruiters on LinkedIn, like find out who we are. Like we want to talk to you. Like we really do. Like we got jobs, we're trying to offer them. So do your homework there. Who's the recruiter? Okay. If I can't find the recruiter, who works there that might be in my network, or who in Texas or the RGV or whatever it might be. Like I'm going to seek out connections and ask them questions. Because when you come to me as a recruiter and you told me, hey, I connected with an intern that interned at Texas A&M for y'all, and they told me about their project. They told me about the skills required to be successful. I also connected with a market manager who never did the internship, but told me about their journey in Altria. Those things make you stand out because I know that you're putting in the time and effort. Like if you do those things before you even have the job, you're going to do those things when you're here. But I think you asked if I had a presentation on that. I don't have a presentation on that, but hopefully that was enough to get you started.
Thank you.
All right, how much time do we have? Sorry, I rambled.
We have about 20.
I have a question.
I think I heard 20 minutes and then I have a question. Go for it.
So how do you make yourself stand out if you don't have any internship experience?
If you don't have internship experience, think about what do you currently do right now? So are you a leader in an organization? Have you served on a committee? Are you working on a project? Is there a school project that you did that you took the lead in? something from there that you could potentially relate to applicable skills, transferable skills. Did any of you work in the mall or a fast food place or whatever it might be? You don't have to have an internship to make you stand out, but you do need to take on leadership experiences. So opportunities to serve on the e-board in this organization, you should be jumping at that. Opportunity to lead a project within this organization, or even if it's something outside of Alpha, right? If you're part of some sort of community group and you can lead a project there, do it. And same thing with your part-time or full-time jobs that you have right now. Are there leadership positions there? Are there experiences there that you can take on or you have taken on that you can talk about? If you haven't done any of those things, then you're gonna have some trouble, because you gotta build upon those experiences so you can land the internship. If you're just participating, it's not enough. I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna tell you straight up. If you're just participating, you're just kind of showing up and you're there, that's not gonna get you paid. Serving as a leader, building upon your experiences, helping others develop, like seeking those opportunities out is what gets you paid.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I think one question I do have is, what kind of internship opportunities does Altria offer?
Perfect. You set it up perfectly. We'll get to that right now. Jesus, is there anything in the chat that I might have missed?
Nothing so far. You're good.
Okay, cool. So let's talk about Altria. Altria is a Fortune 200 company. We're a tobacco company. We own different operating companies. Our brands are Marlboro, Black & Mild. We have other brands in our cigarette portfolio as well. Anything about non-combustible tobacco, we have Copenhagen, Skoal. We have a new product called IQOS, which is a heat not burn product. We have On, which is oral nicotine pouches. And we have Juul, where we own around a 33% investment in Juul. On top of that, through our acquisitions, we also own Ste. Michelle Wine Estates, which is a wine producer. We own 10% of AB InBev, so when you think of Budweiser. And then we also own around a 45% stake in Kronos Cannabis Group out of Canada. So we at Altria Group Distribution Company, we represent the tobacco brands. Our interns also represent the tobacco brands. So when you think about our mission, it's really around owning, developing financially disciplined businesses and providing superior branded products to adult consumers, right? So those products being tobacco and wine. The way we do that is through investing in people, delivering superior products and brands. We drive positive change in the community, and we create substantial value. We're a publicly traded company. So some of the things that we're doing is working to develop and market tobacco products that can be less harmful, and working with the FDA about that. So most recently, we received a modified risk tobacco product license for IQOS, which is a heat non-burn product, which lets us state that it is less harmful than a cigarette. We're providing a lot of choices in terms of tobacco products for our consumers based off of how their preferences are evolving. Smokers, adult smokers want less harmful products. And we're taking a responsible approach that's going to allow us to continue to be the leader in the tobacco industry. So you think about everything that's happening I mentioned earlier about the value that we create in our communities, everything that's happening in our society around social injustice. You know, Altria has announced different grants for Black-owned businesses within, internally as well with the Stronger Together campaign. Our company was matching any of our donations that we wanted to give towards this campaign. They matched it 2 for 1 as well. So you think about how we give back. When you think in 2018, our companies, right? We own multiple operating companies. We gave at least 74 million in cash and in-kind contributions to different nonprofits and organizations in the communities that we live and work in. And also, more than half of our employees have volunteered more than 51,000 hours. So with our internship, which we'll get into, we typically in the first week, we go do a big giving back event. A lot of our work events as well, when we were in a a normal environment where we could all meet up, we'd typically spend half a day giving back to the community. So let's talk a little bit about the internship, our summer sales internship. You serve as a consultant for our clients and customers. Those clients and customers are owners and managers of convenience stores. So when you think about 7-Eleven, Stripes, Tigre, we go in there and we consult our clients on pricing, product distribution, promotions, merchandising platforms. We don't do cold calling. All of the accounts are already established accounts. We represent, when I say we, the tobacco categories in these locations represent a little over 30% of the revenue of the store. We're typically the leader in those stores. So we're a very important part of our clients' business. As an intern, like I said, you're not doing cold calls. You're going to be doing real work. We're asking you to positively influence our customers and consult them based off of the programs that we have. So we're not going to ask you to make coffee. We're not going to ask you to go print documents. It's legit work. You're going to be learning. On top of doing the consulting, you also get projects that you get to work on that will test and help you develop your different skills in terms of analytics and collaboration and influence. So we might ask you to work on how we can better recruit, right? The world is changing now. We know that. Are we doing this right or wrong? And we'll look to you to help us build those solutions. So our interns have a pretty big voice when they come on for the summer. So this past summer, when the world changed, Altria pivoted, we innovated, and we kept our internships intact. It went virtual, it wasn't in person, but the positive note is that we were able to give all of our interns and honor our commitment to give them an internship. So for next summer, is it in person? Is it virtual? I don't have an answer. We'll see what happens with the world next summer. And so when you think about the internship, it is a paid internship. We actually offer, and I think this one's wrong. So we offer our rising seniors $21.75 an hour, rising juniors $19.75 an hour. Housing allowance. So our internship is typically in all the major metros in the United States. So you can think of Miami, Orlando, San Diego, LA, Dallas, Houston, Austin. And we do offer a housing allowance, which would be up to $700 a month. On average, $700 a month. Depending on the cost of living of the area, it could go up, right? We would potentially give you more. If you think of like a Miami, which is very expensive to live there, we would be paying you more than $700 a month. Now, there's qualifications for that. So that we would ask that you qualify for the monthly housing allowance. So yeah, that is a summer internship. Yep. Any questions? And let me get back to being able to see y'all. There we go. I don't know. Oh, camera's off. Hi. So what questions do y'all have? If any. I know I talked a lot. Not all at once. All right. Well, I guess there are no questions. Definitely feel free to connect with me and Jesus on LinkedIn. If you have questions, maybe you're a little too shy to ask right now, and that's okay. But we're here to help. We're alumni from the school, so we want to see you all succeed, definitely. So in any way that we can help you, whether it be for interview prep or just some general questions on recruiting about the process, like as a recruiter, I'll tell you, I don't want the process to be mysterious and scary. No recruiter does. We want y'all to succeed. So feel comfortable asking some questions. So if there are no questions, we'll turn it over to your leadership.
Well, first off, hold on. Hello. I'm sorry. Hold on. Okay, am I all good?
Yes.
Okay, first off, I do want to thank Jose and Jesus for taking time out of their busy schedules to come and meet with us. I know that the elevator pitch workshop was definitely beneficial to me. I know I need to practice mine, but I hope that it was beneficial to you all too. And that pretty much is it for our general meeting today. Like we mentioned earlier, our next meeting is an interview workshop. It will be next Tuesday, same time, same place, and yeah, we hope to see you guys there.
Thank you.
Thank you. Talk to you later.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
Oh yeah, I have to end it. I forgot.
Wait, Lucetta, hold on.
Okay. I'm gonna stop recording though.
Okay, yeah.